The exact protocol is 3 times a week, 10 minutes, walking backwards for about 2 years. That creates about 100 miles backwards, and let's look at what that does. When we walk forwards, our heel hits the ground first. So then our foot slams in. This is more of a foot flattening motion. Now, when we walk backwards, we do the opposite. Our toes hit the ground first. For that reason, I recommend a couple things. When you walk backwards, we're not just trying to shuffle back like this. So you see, you can kind of cheat it, but if you film yourself from a side angle, you can see that if your knee goes over your toes, you're loading. But to that degree, you can load it more. So your intention in your mind, you're actually thinking with that big toe, pushing through that big toe each step. I also recommend, for that reason, either barefoot or a more minimal shoe. So depending on the surface, a more minimal shoe is probably more realistic. So this is a 0 shoe, so it allows my foot to bend the way it would if I was just barefoot, but it still gives me some traction. So thinking to push through that big toe, okay? Shorter steps would be easier. So there's really, you can just start real easy like this, and then over time, you can take bigger and bigger steps. Now, that is the optional warm-up for my 0 program. My 0 program itself also starts working your feet, and I'm gonna show you a drill to give you an example. So here's an exercise I do every other week in my advanced 0 program. Notice I'm gonna go until my ankle can't bend anymore, and now my big toe is actually gonna have to bend, and I'm loading through there, and I'm staying in this position. This is the ATG split squat done in a toe dominant way. I do 1 to 2 sets of 25. I always do 1 to 2 sets when it comes to the high rep stuff, meaning if this is just a strong point, 1 set each is good. If you have a weak point, you'd start on that side and do 2 sets on the weak, 1 set on the strong. And if you thought both were weak, then you could do 2 sets on each. I call this the Ziani split squat after Kadur Ziani, who's arguably the highest jumping human who's ever lived, and he has unbelievable ankle and big toe mobility. So I'm just showing you that it's not only backward walking, and I don't do that as a warm-up before sessions anymore, but I did do over 100 miles, and now I'll still do it from time to time. So I've done way over 100 miles of backwards with that correct intention of actual knees over toes to actually load through the feet. So I believe we could all change things by getting in that 100 miles and by thinking of lifting not as something only with flat feet, but as something we can do and progress through our toes themselves and build all those lower leg and foot muscles. So if someone wanted to go do a study and help change the world, get thousands of people to go backwards 3 times a week for 10 minutes over a 2-year period and get in that 100 miles and see the effects. And you'd have to test all the population all the way up to 80 and 90-year-olds, because my program is giving wins to 80 and 90-year-olds. So it's frustrating for me. I get reached out to almost daily now by people in college saying, oh my gosh, ATG system has changed my life. I want to do a study on it. What can I do? And I tell them this, and they say, but my professor's only letting me do an 8-week study, and I only have 15 untrained college males or whatever. So life is not 15 college males. You can prove just about anything in 8 weeks with 15 college males. Here's a study that could change feet for just about anyone at any level, any age. Older people can start with a wall, even for balance. So there you go. Hope this helps.